Secretary of State Mike Pompeo made news briefly not that long ago when he fired the watchdog who was actually looking into all of his abuses of power, his abuses of his staff, and of course his abuses of taxpayer money. Got rid of the guy. Trump said, yeah, go for it. I don't give a crap. And a lot of things have happened since then, so we haven't really been paying a ton of attention to Mike Pompeo. But luckily, some of the actual journalists over at Politico did. And they found out through digging that apparently it wasn't just Mike Pompeo that was doing all of these horrible things on taxpayers' dime. Apparently his wife, Susan Pompeo, got in on the action as well and has been in on this action since before Pompeo even became Secretary of State, back when he was running the CIA. She was involved, got herself a nice little office set up at the CIA's building somehow, had people that reported to her, even though she wasn't a part of anything. This story is beyond bizarre because this couple is beyond corrupt. Several times while Mrs. Pompeo was working at the CIA, even though she is not a CIA officer as far as we know, she was working there to help further her husband's career. She was planning events featuring Mike Pompeo, all on taxpayer dollar. And one time, a staffer actually brought up to her, hey, aren't we concerned a little bit about the ethics violations here? In fact, we actually have the email response that she sent after the staffer asked, shouldn't we be concerned with the ethics? Her response was, the ethics, question mark, 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 exclamation point. That's funny because I'm trying to get through the professionalism, efficiency, and morale standards in place. Then when we are in receipt of an email marked urgent, informing that the congressman we are all supposed to be unencumbering from tasks so he can better serve America is digging through trash, doesn't deign more than a we will get around to it response. So that's her response to that. That is incoherent. Doesn't really apply to anything that the staffer actually asked her about in terms of, we're violating the ethics rules. Should we be worried about that? And she's like, I got a congressman digging through the trash. Cool. That's real cool, Susan. Nobody asked about the congressman digging through the trash. But what we do have are some serious ethics violations. Here's a list. I don't know if you see this list. See these little tick marks? Each one of these is a different incident that either Susan or Mike or both were implemented in this new report. You can find the link in the description of this video. I do have to list just a couple. Susan Pompeo allegedly had staff members who worked for her husband on taxpayer dime, walker dogs, pickup dry cleaning, which we knew about the pickup dry cleaning and watching the dogs thing from Mike Pompeo himself. Apparently the wife was in on it too. Said, hey, you get that dude to walk our dog? Great. Hey, do it again. Go walk my dogs. Go get my dry cleaning. You're apparently all my personal staff, even though you're being paid with tax dollars. And this is a huge ethics violation, but again, no time for ethics violations when you got congressmen digging through the trash, right? Right, Pompeo family? Oh, I guess the congressman was her husband. I mean, she doesn't necessarily explain that back when he was in Congress. I don't know why he's digging through the trash. Very weird, but anyway. During her husband's time running the CIA early in the Trump administration, Susan helped plan his external advisory board events, briefings, and played a hands-on role in his overseas trips. During the 2016 campaign for Pompeo's House seat, an aide was assigned to dog sit back in Kansas on unpaid time. Another aide was told to put the newspapers inside of the Pompeo's Wichita home while they were out of town. Susan organized a September 27th dinner during the UN General Assembly in 2019, ostensibly for foreign officials from Pacific Islands, but included spouses of officials from Egypt, Algeria, and Azerbaijan. Food for that event cost taxpayers at least $1,000. Had staffers redo plans for new decor in Pompeo's D.C. house office. all kinds of stuff. I mean, the lady, the man, they're all using this staff as if it's their personal assistants. These are people who got jobs in government because they wanted to work in government. These are people who thought, I can make a difference in the world. I can be one of those people working behind the scenes, seeing how the sausage is made. Instead, they've become interior decorators. They've become professional dog walkers. And one unfortunate soul became a newspaper getterer. That's what happened. Those may seem small, they may seem innocuous, but those are abuses of power, they're abuses of staff, and they're abuses of taxpayer money. That is what the Pompeos are very clearly guilty of. And we know this administration is not going to hold them accountable for anything. So we just have to hope that the next one will.